Rayan Malik clutched his daughter's tiny hand as they dashed through the overcrowded terminal of Zenith International Airport. His breath came in short bursts, heart pounding not just from the sprint but from the stakes of this day. A single dad and freelance robotics engineer, Rayan had finally landed an interview with Orbitech Industries. His last shot at a stable future for him and his daughter Lina. One missed flight and the opportunity would vanish. Gate C12, he muttered under his breath, checking the digital boarding pass on his cracked phone. But in his rush, he failed to notice the small blinking update icon in the corner. Flight rescheduled, and gate changed to D5. Lina, all big eyes and curiosity, clutched her stuffed star creature, serious, and looked up at him. Are we late? Not if we run like comets, Rayan smiled, masking the panic behind forced calm. They rounded the corner toward what he believed was gate C12, but instead found themselves in an oddly quiet corridor. The fluorescent lights above flickered slightly, and the usual background hum of airport life crackling intercoms. Rolling luggage, impatient announcements seemed to fade behind them. A large sign marked Terminal CSEP Section Alpha. Restricted access. But the sliding glass door opened with a soft hiss, as though expecting them. Rayan hesitated. This doesn't feel right. But Lina tugged at him. It's open, Daddy. Maybe it's faster. Against his better judgment, he stepped inside. The hallway was unlike any airport section he'd seen before. Sleek, metallic walls replaced the beige paneling. Instead of bustling passengers, there were only rows of decommissioned self-service kiosks, some blinking faintly, others completely dead. Motion sensors activated low humming lights above them as they moved forward. It smelled faintly of ozone. This place is old, Rayan muttered. And not on any terminal map I saw. At the end of the hallway stood a single gate. Z1. Its digital screen distorted and unreadable. Parked just outside on a hidden tarmac was an aircraft unlike anything Rayan had seen before. It looked like a hybrid between a private jet and a space shuttle. Its surface glistening with hexagonal light patterns that moved like rippling water. Cool ship, Lina whispered. Rayan looked around. No crew, no guards, no noise. Just silence and this ghostly vessel. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. Low battery warning and a pop-up finally updated. Flight moved to D5. Gate closing in 3 minutes. Damn it. He cursed under his breath. But when he turned around, the hallway they had entered from had sealed itself with a metallic door. No keypad, no manual override. Just a smooth surface. Panic surged. Hello, he shouted. Is anyone here? We're not supposed to be. Before he could finish, a soft voice echoed overhead. Calm, artificial, female. Welcome, passengers. Boarding sequence initiated. Please make your way to the vessel. What? No, this is a mistake. The door of the ship hissed open. Lina, undeterred by fear, stepped toward the ramp. Daddy, maybe this is our ship. Maybe they sent a special one for us. Rayan hesitated. Everything about this screamed wrong. But they were trapped in a part of the airport that shouldn't exist, and a strange part of his mind, perhaps dulled by years of disappointment, whispered, "What if this is fate?" With a shaky breath, he grabbed Lina's hand and walked up the ramp. Inside, the ship pulsed with soft blue light. The air smelled like mint and static. As they entered, the ramp retracted. and the hatch sealed with a sigh. "Passenger verification complete," the voice said. "Engaging pre-flight sequence." Rayan spun. "Wait. We're not supposed to," but before he could protest further, gravity shifted, and with a sudden jolt, the ship launched skyward. And just like that, a mistake at the airport had taken them somewhere far beyond gates, job interviews, and forgotten dreams, into the beginning of something miraculous. The world outside the ship dissolved into streaks of light as the craft surged through the upper atmosphere. Rayan's grip on Lina's hand tightened, though he could barely hear her gasps over the deep thrumming hum reverberating through the cabin. The vessel wasn't just flying, it was tearing through something. He felt a strange pulling in his chest, as if his heart momentarily floated. Weightless in time, screens lit up around them, no controls, no steering yoke, just streams of data cascading in alien code. The walls shimmered with waves of light like heat distortion, and the seats retracted silently from the floor, adjusting automatically to their forms. Lina whispered, "Daddy, are we in space?" Rayan couldn't answer. Through a small window to their right, the clouds had long vanished. They now floated in what appeared to be a tunnel of soft blue energy, streaked with pulses of electric gold. Earth was no longer visible. A soft chime echoed. "Welcome aboard the Ian Strider destination. Seraphis station. Estimated arrival, 2.6 quantum minutes." Rayan blinked at the voice. "What the hell is Seraphis station? This isn't orbit. This isn't even the right reality." He tried to stand, but the seat gently pulled him back with magnetic cushioning. He felt a tingling pressure on his temples, followed by a soft click, as if something microscopic had scanned him. Then Lina's seat did the same, pulsed once, and glowed softly around her like a halo. "Passenger Rayan Malik, confirmed, civilian neural distress, level 83%. Priority tagged for recalibration, trial B23. Rayan's eyes widened. "What does that mean? Why are we tagged?" "We're not part of passenger Lina Malik confirmed. Subject exhibits latent multidimensional resonance. Flagged for core potential assessment." Rayan's heart stopped. "No, you don't touch her. You don't assess anything." But the voice didn't reply. Instead, a low hum filled the air, and the lights inside the cabin shifted from blue to silver. The seatbelts gently tightened around their waists. Gravity faded, then returned, and before he could say another word, the stars outside rippled, folding like a sheet of fabric, and they dropped into silence. Outside the window now floated something entirely otherworldly, a station not orbiting Earth, but drifting between two glowing rifts in space like a coin balanced on its edge. Its structure was impossibly elegant. Massive rings, turning slowly around a crystalline core that shimmered like starlight trapped in glass. Arriving at Seraphis station, the AI intoned softly. The vessel docked with a soundless glide. The interior lights dimmed, and the hatch slid open into a chamber bathed in warm orange light. There were no guards, no customs officers, no one at all, just silence. Waiting, Rayan unstrapped Lina and took her hand again. Her small voice trembled. "Where are we?" "I don't know," Rayan muttered. "But I'm going to find out, and we're leaving immediately." They stepped into the docking bay. The air was warm and sweet, filled with the scent of lavender and static. The floor beneath them pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. Around them were glowing walls of data, projections, and what looked like holographic vines climbing up transparent pillars. It didn't feel like a space station. It felt alive. Then a new voice, more human, yet still artificial, spoke from everywhere and nowhere at once. Rayan Malik, Lina Malik, welcome. You are not here by accident. Rayan spun around. Who are you? Why did you bring us here? A flickering figure emerged, a woman in a white coat with silver eyes, translucent and humming like an echo in time. You boarded a vessel marked for miracle intervention. You passed through a gate that no longer exists. You were chosen not by us, but by your need. Rayan stared at her, unsure whether to yell or fall to his knees. Lina clutched his hand tighter. Daddy, I think this is where Mom was going. When she disappeared, Rayan's blood ran cold. Something told him the job interview, the airport rush, the mistake, it had all been leading to this. Rayan stepped cautiously through the arched corridor, his hand gripping Lina's more tightly than ever. The air inside Seraphis station shimmered with a faint iridescence, as though dust particles were suspended mid-thought rather than mid-air. Light didn't behave normally. Here it bent softly around corners, pulsing in rhythmic patterns, like the station itself was breathing. They were led, silently, by the flickering projection of the woman from the docking bay. She introduced herself as Dr. Amira, though she wasn't quite a person anymore, more of a conscious echo, a memory tethered to the station's core. Her footsteps didn't make a sound. Seraphis is a sanctuary, she said calmly, glancing back at them with glowing eyes. A research facility operating outside conventional space-time, founded by those who believed the future wasn't something to wait for, it was something to build. Rayan's voice was sharp. You abducted us. That ship had no business launching. We didn't launch it, Amira replied without stopping. You activated it by stepping on board. Only those marked by the field anomaly can access the terminal. It's closed to the rest of your world. Lina looked around in wonder. It feels like a dream, Daddy. Rayan couldn't deny it. As they entered a central atrium, he was struck speechless. Massive rotating rings hovered overhead, projecting layers of transparent code that floated like constellations. In the center, a core of crystal larger than a building pulsed with slow waves of light, feeding energy through unseen channels. Dozens of humans moved within the chamber, some wearing lab coats, others in soft, unmarked suits. There were no visible weapons, no tension, just a kind of serene focus. Like everyone knew what they were doing served a higher purpose. Dr. Amira led them into a smaller observation room. Walls of glass revealed a holographic map of timelines and parallel events branching off like rivers, many fading into blackness while others shimmered with hope. This, she said, pointing to one brightly pulsing stream, is your timeline. Or rather, it was. Your decision to board the ship separated you from the default flow. You are now in what we call a free phase zone, a place outside fixed fate. Rayan shook his head. This is insane. I just needed to catch a flight. I had a job interview. My daughter has school next week. This wasn't supposed to happen, but it did, she said softly, and not by accident. Lina wasn't just allowed through the field, she resonated with it. That kind of signature only shows up in 1 in 8 billion beings. Your daughter isn't entirely of your Earth anymore. What are you saying? Rayan asked, voice cracking. Illyra turned toward Lina. Her quantum signature shows stabilization properties, emotional continuity between divergent states. It means she can exist across timelines without collapsing them. The last person we encountered with this ability was your wife. Rayon's breath caught. You knew her. We didn't just know her. She helped us build this station. His world tilted. 3 years ago, Illyra continued, your wife, Amira, was working with a covert quantum research initiative. She disappeared because she chose to protect you and Lina. She volunteered to enter the free phase, believing the data she could collect here might one day save countless lives across realities. Rayanne stared blankly at the floor. Every lonely night, every memory he'd clung to had all been connected to something bigger, something unbelievable. But why bring us here, he asked. Illyra smiled gently. Because the station's heart, what we call the core, is destabilizing. We believe Lina may be able to interface with it. Not forcibly, only if she chooses to. Rayan knelt beside his daughter. You don't have to do anything, okay? We can leave. I'll find a way. Lina didn't answer immediately. She stepped closer to the glass wall, placing her hand against it. The swirling code beyond responded, shifting, harmonizing with her pulse. She turned back to her father with wide, steady eyes. I think Mom left me something, she said quietly. And I think this is where I'm supposed to find it. Rayanne followed Lina as she moved through the corridor leading to the core chamber, flanked by Dr. Illyra and 2 silent technicians who appeared more spectral than physical digital echoes, perhaps left behind by the station's collapsing systems. The walls around them shimmered with fragments of data, equations that danced and morphed into strange, organic patterns as Lina passed by, as though the station recognized her presence and was responding to her. The corridor opened into a vast dome, far larger than anything Rayanne had seen. At the center floated the Cora, multifaceted crystal suspended in mid-air by unseen forces. It pulsed slowly, like a dying heartbeat, and thin streams of light unraveled from its edges like celestial roots. Every flicker of light seemed to whisper something he couldn't understand. Time felt loose, here, as if every step took place in multiple moments at once. Dr. Illyra gestured toward a raised platform below the core. This is the core link interface. It's where your wife initiated the resonance protocol 3 years ago. We didn't realize then that her child, your daughter, would inherit such a unique tether to the multiversal field. Rayanne still couldn't grasp it. Inherited from what? From Amira. She was a researcher, not some alien being. She was more than a researcher, Illyra said softly. She was the first human to bond with the core without disintegration. Her consciousness still echoes within the latticework. That's why Lina is reacting to the station. Her DNA carries a partial imprint of Amira's quantum identity. We believe your wife foresaw all this. Lina approached the edge of the platform. The core's glow intensified slightly, flickering a gentle golden hue. It was responding to her, clearly and consistently now. Small glyphs began forming in the air around her, symbols Rayanne didn't recognize, but that Lina looked at as if they were familiar. Rayanne rushed forward. Lina, wait, what if it's dangerous? But she turned to him, calm and certain, in a way that startled him. It's not hurting me. It's listening. Her voice was different, still hers, but layered, like someone else was speaking with her. Rayan felt a cold shiver creep up his spine. Elira noticed it too and raised a hand in reassurance. She's not being taken over, Elira said. The core doesn't dominate. It reflects. It's letting her access memory threads. Your daughter is experiencing what Amira left behind. Rayan swallowed hard as Lina stepped fully onto the platform. The core pulsed once and then beams of light cascaded around her, forming a translucent sphere. Inside it, a scene began to unfold like a holographic dream. Rayan saw Amira live, smiling, standing in this very chamber. Her hair was longer, floating slightly in zero gravity. She looked directly into Lina's eyes as if she knew this moment would come. If you're seeing this, the recording of Amira said, then the core has accepted you. Lina, my star. You're special in ways no one on Earth could have understood. I had to go, not to abandon you, but to give you a future that could survive what's coming. Rayan's breath caught in his throat. Amira continued, this station isn't just for research. It's a firewall. A final defense against dimensional collapse. The timelines are breaking. We were only supposed to observe, but when I saw what was happening, I had to act. I encoded myself into the core's memory, hoping one day you could finish what I started. The image flickered, then stabilized. Rayan, I'm sorry. I never stopped loving you. But I had to disappear so she could live. This was the only way. Tears stung Rayan's eyes. He moved toward the platform, but Elira gently stopped him. She's not really here, Elira said. But her consciousness, her love is. And it's guiding Lina now. Lina reached out, her hand hovering over the core surface. The glyphs spun faster, stabilizing into symmetrical patterns. The golden hue brightened, and the chamber trembled not, in danger. But in awakening. Rayen watched in awe. Something was happening, and Lina, she was becoming something more than either of them had ever imagined. The chamber's glow became radiant, illuminating every crevice of the core room as if dawn itself had broken inside the station. The golden light surrounding Lina pulsed steadily. No longer chaotic, no longer searching. It was as if the core had found exactly what it needed, and that need had a name. Lina Malik. Rayan stood just outside the resonance platform, his heart pounding. He wanted to protect her, to rush in and pull her back, but something in his gut told him this wasn't a threat. It was transformation. The core wasn't absorbing. Lina was evolving with her. Dr. Ilira's voice was softer now, almost reverent. She's synchronizing with the quantum lattice. Her neural pathways are stabilizing the decay in the primary time. She's doing what no adult could, bridging possibility through uncorrupted intention. Rayan barely heard her. His eyes were locked on his daughter. She stood still, palms slightly raised, surrounded by shifting symbols of light that now resembled constellations. Then, for a single moment, her eyes closed, and when she opened them again, they glowed faintly with the same gold as the core. Daddy, she whispered. I hear her. Rayan stepped forward, tears breaking free. Amira, Lina nodded. She's not just a message. She's still here. In the core, like a living thought. She says it's okay to let go. Suddenly, the entire station trembled, not violently, but like something massive had just changed its state of being. The glass in the observation windows turned completely transparent, revealing something astonishing outside. multiple wormhole threads converging, each previously unstable, now weaving together in a delicate braid of energy. Dr. Amira let out a breath of awe. She's repaired the time weave. The fractures are closing. Realities will stop collapsing. A console to the side flickered to life, displaying thousands of branching timelines. Many were dark or flickering with instability, but now, lines that were previously dead began to glow, possibilities re-emerging from ruin. One of the newly lit threads highlighted a simple, serene image. Rayan, older, standing beside Lina in a lush green field under twin suns. Rayan turned to Amira. What happens now? Is she stuck in this state? Amira shook her head slowly. No, the core is no longer using her. She's harmonized with it. They coexist. Lina could return with you. She's still your daughter. But she always carried this awareness. The miracle, Rayan, isn't just that she fixed what we couldn't. It's that she chose to do it out of love. Lina stepped down from the platform. Slowly, as the golden glow around her faded into a soft aura that lingered in her eyes. She looked up at her father and wrapped her arms around him tightly. I'm okay now, she whispered, and Mommy says she's proud of us. Rayan knelt down and hugged her, no longer holding back tears. You saved more than just time, he said. You saved me. Dr. Amira stepped forward, holding out a small crystalline device. A memory shard, she explained. Amira wanted you to have this if you made it here. It contains her final thoughts. And one last message. Rayan took the shard, his hands trembling. Amira continued, the choice is yours now. You can stay aboard Seraphis and continue learning, or we can return you both to Earth. Just moments after you left, no one will know what happened, but you. Will. Rayan looked at Lina. She smiled at him, wise beyond her years. Let's go home, she said. But someday, we'll come back. As they stepped into the vessel that brought them here, now repurposed for return, Rayan looked back at the station one last time. It wasn't just metal and data anymore. It was the place where he lost everything, and then found more than he'd ever dared to hope. A mistake at the airport had led to a miracle, not just for a single dad, but for every possible version of tomorrow.